Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. This is David Benjamin coming to you live from Last Chance Radio, the place where you're going to get the truth. Let's talk right away without any interruptions, without any nonsense, okay, about Lieutenant Colonel Vindman's testimony today before the Intelligence Committee. And what I will tell you is that I have not been moved by a uniformed service member statement for a long time. Oh, by the way, I want to show you real briefly that this is my shirt. It's agenda free, and it's me standing up for a fellow by the name of Steve Lookner, who runs Agenda Free TV, and I support his. I support his methodology of reporting the news without an agenda. Okay? Wanted to say that and send a shout out to him on that one. He deserves it. And so, going back to Vindman's statements today, if you tell me you are not moved by his testimony, then you're probably like dead from here up kind of thing. But it's okay. Hey, you want to remain ignorant? It appears that a percentage of our population wants to remain ignorant. The only problem with that is it doesn't get us anywhere. We don't move forward as a civilization if we remain ignorant. Part of what I'm going to talk to you tonight about comes from my notes. Oh, gosh, excuse me. Sorry. Holy crap, I didn't know it would do that. But my notes. And I'm going to read from them a little bit. I hope you don't mind. And I'm going to pull up something also that you guys need to watch. There's two pieces to this. And the first part was called Ukraine on Fire, The Real Story, full documentary by Oliver Stone. Right? And then, let me go over to that for a second so you can see it. And then the second component of that is Revealing Ukraine, which is now available on Amazon Prime, and I'm going to put a link down below for you to be able to get to that. Okay? I'll try and find my best way to get you there. Anyways, let me just say the things that I need to say here. And then it'll probably, spiral to other components, which are worthy of our time. And I want to be worthy of your time. And while I'm saying that, let me just go ahead and say this. Although we're not taking donations yet, and we will at some point, when I prove to you that I am here and I'm not going away, and that, uh, I'm not some fly by night operation here. I hope you'll give me a hand with a buck or two, but we'll get to that when it comes to it. We're not there yet. Excuse me. Um, I am utterly astounded. This is coming from my notes. I am utterly astounded by the new conspiracy theory being blocked by Medvedchuk that somehow U.S. intelligence, Obama, were behind hiring Georgian snipers to shoot their own people. Now, if you know anything about the protests that took place in the Ukraine, what they called the Maidan, or the uprising of dignity, etc., the idea of putting it forward that somehow we were shooting our own people who were seeking freedom is an abomination. It's a filthy lie. It is infuriating. I don't know how much the right expects us to continue to absorb the lies and the BS that they're putting out without some reprisal. Now, of course, I can't ever say, please don't do anything illegal. And I am saying that. Don't do anything illegal, please. But at the same time, I wonder, what is the tipping point? What is the point where I would do something illegal? And I'm being honest with you. This is infuriating. This is really bothersome. I'm going to show you a piece of videotape now, and I'm not going to take a ton of time tonight. Actually, I may just go ahead and read you this, and I think I will. Actually, you know what? Let me play the video, this video I have, and then I'll come back out of the video, and I'll read you some more of my notes, and I hope that they are pertinent and salient and apropos is what I'm going for. So let me just go ahead and do that. And I have to keep the audio off, otherwise it'll start looping insanely. But look, this was the Maidan. This was the protest of dignity, where these people were fighting for their freedom. Okay? I don't see anything other than human beings trying to free themselves from the yoke of either fascism or exorbitant communism. And of course, who shows up? Vlad the Impaler. Okay? Now, I'm going to stop this for a second. Okay? And I'm going to come back to myself. And I want to tell you what the new video is proposing. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's called Revealing Ukraine. And in that video that I just watched last night, Medvedchuk, now a run out of office politician, okay, puts forward that Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, the CIA, and other groups of subterranean natures brought in Georgian snipers to shoot protesters. That's what they want you to believe. That's the new conspiracy theory. Please hear me say this. The new conspiracy theory that the right is going to jump all over is going to be, oh, in the Ukraine? In the Ukraine? This is what they're going to say. Listen to me. In the Ukraine, Hillary and the Clinton Foundation and the Speaker of the House, everybody sent a bunch of Georgian snipers to shoot their own left-wing people who were protesting on the Maidan for change. Please, folks, see what's coming. I'm trying to tell you what's coming. They are going to profess. They are going to extrapolate. They are going to go on and on. It's coming. It's not far away. Watch. This is the one thing I am good at in life, is seeing what's coming around the bend. It's the only thing that's kept me alive. Look at my nose. It's bashed in, but, it's still here, and it still works. I've caught a couple, but I missed a bunch, too. Boop, boop, boop. Anyways, I am glad you're here tonight. I'm David Benjamin, and this is Last Chance Radio. And I'm trying to bring to you the truth of what is happening in our world today. Today. Do not allow the nonsense that is being carried out by these people. And Oliver Stone, I think he's up to one of his sneaky tricks, which is to really tell us what's going on, right? Without like burning his sources, like, so he can go back and say again, okay, I want to interview you, blah 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 blah, and this is very dangerous topic of war. Nobody should feel safe today, blah blah blah. This is nonsense. This is BS. And you know what? I have a sneaky suspicion that Oliver Stone knows exactly what he's doing. What he did was he wormed his way in with his using the conspiratorial scenario from his JFK movies, blah blah blah. It makes perfect sense. Oh, let's use him. He's a JFK conspiracy theorist fruitcake. He'll broadcast anything. Right? Alright, but let me read you something. This comes from my notes. And I hope you'll bear with me, and I hope you'll listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Medvedchuk, who's in the new documentary with Oliver Stone. Medvedchuk and Putin have apparently formulated yet another conspiracy theory against the free will of Ukrainians who choose not to be Orthodox Tsarist Russians. They choose not to be Orthodox Tsarist Russians. There's another name for that. And I don't have that written down here, but I'm going to tell it to you, and you can look it up on Wikipedia yourself. Look up the terminology White Russian. White Russian has been endlessly, since that civil war that took place in Russia, affiliated with fascism. And so when the Nazis came to power, boom, the White Russians and the fascists of Italy and Nazi Germany had no problem coming together. They saw things the same way. It's a Christian man's world. Seriously. And if you can't see right now that that's happening again, that if you're not a component of the Catholic Christian world, that you're considered not really a component of society, and it's something we need to be very wary and afraid, not afraid, not afraid. Well, sometimes fear brings good things, but I don't want to use the word fear. I want to use the word aware. Let's be aware of it. Let's prepare. Do whatever you got to do to make yourself feel prepared. The world changes. Or always will. That's the one constant, is the changing world. And what I'd like you to know, and what I'd like you to consider, is self-protection. And listen, I was a Republican up until about 10 years ago. And I left the Republican Party because I despise what they've turned into. And I saw it coming. I saw it coming long ago. And now I am a Democrat, registered and all. And I still believe in your Second Amendment right to defend yourself and your family. And I suggest you logically, intelligently prepare for something going south. I hope it never happens. And it probably won't. But you know what? It's always better to have a little bit of rice in your bowl than not. Does that make sense? So just think of it that way. You don't hear me trying to sell you some survival food or anything. When it comes to it, I will ask you, if you appreciate my broadcasts, I will ask you to donate a few dollars, and if you can, you can, and if you cannot, you will not. With that being said, I'm going to finish up my notes, like I said. And these were written while I was watching the Stone documentary. Oliver, you gotta remember, he loves controversy. So we take that into consideration as we read, write, and me regurgitating. Anyways, but this is my notes. Medvedchuk, who you will meet if you watch the video, and Putin have apparently formulated yet another conspiracy theory against the free will of Ukrainians who choose not to be Orthodox Tsarist Russians. The component of this
theory that is most troubling is the intent to involve the United States as if it is the foment or the creation of a proxy war,
much like Vietnam. And that is what struck me, folks. The idea that this could spin into a Vietnam type scenario is frightening. We lost 58 plus thousand of our youngest and best in Vietnam. It's a lot of people. Now, understand this. For a small country like Ukraine, whose total land mass size is the size of Texas, they've already lost 13,000 plus people. I want you to think about that. That is why you see men like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman become somewhat emotional. Even if you don't see his emotion, I do, because I know the emotion of a military man. And like I said, I was going to keep this short, and I am. And I appreciate you tuning in to Last Chance Radio. I'm David Benjamin. Consider the possibilities. Have a good night.